No, I don't feel free. Got a lot of anxiety and I don't want to go out anywhere. So it feels like I'm still being locked up in a sense.
Gus Cooster was born in Papua New Guinea. His mother was from Manus Island. His father, Australian. The family moved to Queensland when Gus was 4 years old.
We used to go camping to Rainbow Beach in 1770 and a lot with the family when we were younger, and I believe, I'm half Australian, and so I didn't think that I was never that,
Gus began getting in trouble with the law from his early teens.
I was always staying with friends and on the streets and stuff, and led to the use of drugs when I was 13, and that led to more drugs and instability, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way.
Over his adult life, Gus has been convicted of serious criminal offences, including for drug possession, dangerous driving, weapons possession, breaching domestic violence orders and assault.
The things that I've done, I admit to it. I'm not saying that's not right. It's right. I've made these mistakes and I paid my dues for it. I've done my time.
In 2011 and 2014, he was warned by Border Force that his visa might be cancelled if he continued offending, something he says he didn't understand. Gus thought he was an Australian citizen.
I do recall getting some of those pieces of paper, but I also called my father and asked him about it, and he said, "You're Australian, that doesn't apply to you." So we left it at that.
Gus was actually a permanent resident. In 2017, after being sentenced to 12 months imprisonment for contravening a domestic violence order, the Australian government cancelled his visa. Plans were put in place to deport Gus to Papua New Guinea under Section 501 of the Migration Act.
I thought I was getting released and my parents were waiting for me at the front until they held me a little bit longer, and the Australian Border Force came in and said, "You're coming with us." I was speechless, actually. I couldn't believe it, but it was happening.
Gus's grandfather fought at Gallipoli. He also has Torres Strait Islander heritage. He says his grandmother was born on Thursday Island.
How many times can you say it and when you've been asked by the government themselves and no one listens? It's just unbelievable,
When Gus was deported to PNG in 2019, he wasn't allowed off the plane. The country had no record of his birth. Now deemed stateless, he was returned to immigration detention, where he was to remain indefinitely.
I would always think about, would there be a day that I'd be able to go back home, but I knew that there wasn't. I think it was very traumatising, to tell you the truth.
One of the largest growing populations in Australia's immigration prisons are stateless people. So they are people who have no country to go back to, no country to diplomatically protect them, and yet Australian law was such that such people would have to be detained indefinitely. They all feel monitored and...
Alison Batterson has been working with Gus for years, trying to secure his release.
So in Gus's case, he's actually been locked up for 5 times longer than the sentence he was given by the courts.
Gus Cooster is one of the 141 non-citizens released under a High Court ruling this month. It found indefinite detention with no prospect of deportation unlawful.
I also said I wanted to go to the beach, and one of the first things I was going to do was jump in the ocean. But I went.
Have you done it yet?
No, I didn't even really want to get out of the car when we went for a drive, and just because I don't feel the same anymore, you know.
The High Court decision has ignited a political furore. 3 murderers and several sex offenders were among those released.
We're talking about some very serious criminals here, pedophiles and rapists, murderers.
If I had any legal power to do it, I would keep every one of those people in detention.
The government has scrambled to roll out monitoring measures for all but 3 former detainees. On Saturday, Gus was fitted with an ankle tracker and also has a 10 p.m. curfew.
To say that we're being released and then saying that I have to wear an anklet bracelet and curfew, I'm getting punished again.
In a statement, Border Force told 7:30 the monitoring measures are necessary and proportionate.
I think one of the important things that the public should take away is that every person who has been released has already served their sentence. They haven't been released early from the criminal justice process.
You do that.
Oh, it smells so good.
The Kuster family are making the most of time together.
It's just amazing having him home. It's been too long. Hello, Billie Jean.
Hello, okay, darling. Come.
It hurts me because my brother has done his time. It's just unfair, you know, and I'm scared that they're just going to come and take him away again, and I don't want that for Mum and Dad. It's just given them so much hope having him here.